Great. Let's start this one off with some fast forwarding. Technically, it's not all that far from new territory from here, but as I said before, Samus is slower and the rooms are generally larger. Metroid Prime at its core is a slower-paced experience than the 2D games. Okay, this looks new enough for me to stop the fast forwarding for now. Huh. Wonder why I keep remembering the wasps shooting at us in this game when apparently their main method of attack so far seems to be just ramming us. It's not just something that the mini-boss wasps before we got the missile launcher do. It seems to be all the ones that we've come across so far. If these things are native to the planet, I somehow doubt there'd be too many animals dumb enough to go after the colorful-looking leaves when the plant goes out of its way to kill them. Still, at least I could scan it this time, unlike back when we first saw the red grass above that room. Great, now I can't help wondering if the wasps living inside the tree are making it less structurally stable. I don't think I would have given a damn about that kind of thing if it wasn't for the scanner in this game being so informative. Again, it's a double-edged sword. The more they tell me around here, the more I want to learn, even if what I'm being told has some logical holes in it. Where the hell is that fourth room? Did I miss it on the way up? Is it below us? Did I miss it on the way up? Yeah. We already know that walking through the water is suicide at this point. That's not what we're trying to find right now. That's it. Hitting fast forward since I'm just stumbling around right now. There we are. Son of a bitch. Apparently we have to find the previous 3 runes to activate them, even though we activated them already. Again, our suit certainly remembers that we scanned them before. We're gonna do an instant scan on them, because the suit just remembers we've done the whole loading up a scan of them already. So if one part of the game remembers we've scanned them, why can't the other remember? I don't know, it just feels like a way to slow us down for the sake of slowing things down. And by God, I wish this was the worst of it, but I guess I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Let's deal with the annoying thing now, not the annoying thing that's gonna come hours from now. That takes care of the door. Now to climb our way back up there and see what's on the other side. Again, technically, it didn't actually take all that long, but it was still stalling us out for the sake of making this take a little longer. I suppose I should just be glad this game gave me an excuse to fast forward for this clip for a bit. If I didn't do at least that much fast forwarding, this clip would have gone over the half-hour mark, or I would have had to find a random stopping point in the middle of the raw footage. Assuming, of course, I don't fast forward later on. Speaking of things meant to just slow us down, this hallway certainly has a lot of hostile plants. Is that supposed to be a hint for what's coming next? Well, that was mildly embarrassing, but at least it didn't do much damage. Okay, so we caught a massive hostile plant monster. Not our first for the series as a whole. Yeah, I'm definitely forgetting this thing's name in a hurry when we're done with this fight. Okay, central nervous system in the tentacles, not the main body. Bit odd, but not the strangest thing we've seen in this series. If anything, I can appreciate finally fighting against an actual boss again in this game after the odd security devices with some wasps that we dealt with earlier on. And why does my tongue keep getting kinda tripped up by the word wasps? So, at the moment, the only thing we can do is daze it, but it shouldn't be too difficult to knock that mirror out of place once it's dazed. Okay, shooting that mirror from this angle is doing absolutely nothing. Bit annoying, but we've got plenty of health right now. We can afford to stumble around at the moment. Not too sure why I'm struggling to remember how to deal with this boss, since it's a relatively simple one to deal with. Maybe it's just been that damn long since last time I played the original Metroid Prime. I've heard this creature's roars before, maybe in Star Fox 64. Not really a bad thing, just funny that it's reminded me of another Nintendo series I haven't gotten around to commenting on just yet. Why is it so troublesome for me to remember to deal with the damn glowing dish? The game outright told us that's what we need to do. So why am I not doing it faster? There we go. That really should not have taken me so long. And thank you for the obvious hint that we need to use the bomb when we roll in there. Considering how long it took for me to figure out the obvious just before it, I was definitely not running with all cylinders when I recorded this session. Right, time to do the same song and dance, only for 2 mirrors instead of just 1. Shouldn't take as long as the last time, since I know what I'm doing now. As simple as this boss is, it's still a more interesting fight to go through than anything else we've gone through so far. And it's certainly a more involved process than taking down the Queen back on the station. Okay, despite setting up a barrier in an annoying spot, we managed to get the second mirror back up in a hurry. At least we got some healing after that previous round. Well, I'm sure we could have succeeded even without healing, considering how simple this is. I still appreciate it, considering how long it's taking for us to kill this thing. Hell, It looks like we're going to have to do this 4 times to finish the bastard. Why did they choose 4 instead of 3? I was kind of under the impression that 3 was some magic number when it comes to how many stages for a boss fight, if said boss fight has stages at all. Just one more time and this plant is done. I have the distinct feeling that the Chozo initially tried to plant something far more benevolent up here. Or maybe they were just being stupid like when they made Mother Brain. It's not like we can ask them what they were doing, even if they were still alive to speak. I have the feeling their explanation would wander so much that I'd need to pay extra close attention to know what the point was. Anyway, part of me feels guilty that I didn't even try to dodge those claw swipes from the big guy. I just tanked it because of course I can. No need to figure out this boss's patterns and a way to dodge things when we can just take it down in a hurry. Okay, so I need to go left to get to the last tunnel. Bit of a long trek, but nothing too bad. You're kidding me. We got that jingle for beating a boss? That just feels... ugh. Really helps to undermine whatever impact killing this thing has. Seriously, we just killed the thing that's been poisoning the water in all the areas we've explored so far in the game. Why does that get the same little tune as breaking open a little wall to find a missile expansion? And now we've got an upgrade to celebrate us killing the first major boss on the planet. So after killing the thing generating acid, we get the suit upgrade that would have let us wander through acid without getting burned anyway. I somehow doubt that was meant to be funny. I also doubt the way the game transformed our suit was supposed to be funny either, but there was just something about how it happened there as we watched that I just couldn't take seriously. Okay, doesn't look like there's anything to scan up here right now. And the way we initially came in is still shut off by vines from a plant we just explicitly killed off? I'm sorry, but I can't help finding that a little annoying. Why not block it off with something like, I don't know, rocks that the monster knocked into that path? Or give us some other reason to prompt us to go through this new path instead of back the way we came. Okay, doesn't look like we have any choice to go forward from here other than to go through the water. My mistake! I managed to stay out of the water there. Technically not a major achievement since we would have gotten over to this side anyway. Still, the fact that the water lowers your visibility kind of makes it a little less tempting for me to go through if it's in any way possible to stay out. Well, that's quite a bit of energy from one item. Kind of embarrassed that I needed that much healing considering how simplistic that boss was. But again, this series has gone three-dimensional, so a lot of the things that would have been true in the other Metroid games aren't the case here. Everything that was absolutely critical to the Metroid experience was kept and expanded. But everything that wasn't so critical, from mobility to the overall pace of the game, was changed to fit the new format. And again, the designers certainly got something right, considering people feel the first game is the absolute best of the trilogy. I'm certainly thankful that they kept the fact that Samus doesn't take fall damage. That would have been quite the annoying way to die. Right, too much to ask that I could destroy all the hives before the next batch of wasps showed up. Still, that seemed to be the last one. Now, what's the latest bit of lore from the wall? So they somehow made themselves corporeal again after ascending to a higher plane of existence. I guess this planet really was important to these guys if they went through that kind of effort for it. A 12-key lock. I have the distinct feeling we're not going to be able to finish this thing without opening that lock. But for now, that's a rather distant future. For the present, we have more grounds to explore at the moment and decisions to make for what direction to do that exploration in right now. Okay, no clue why I occasionally get caught on the terrain. I certainly don't remember that sort of thing happening to me when I actually had a GameCube to play this game with. Okay, apparently we've got some machinery to navigate around now. Odd, I was under the impression this Chozo colony wanted to keep things as technologically basic for them as they could manage. Maybe I misinterpreted, or maybe the level of designers didn't get the memo for this specific room. Of course they do. I don't suppose there's a device we can work with that can open the gates, is there? Granted, it looks like there's only a missile upgrade in here, but still. Yeah. If you have that mentality, then what was with the machine we had to ride just to get into this room? Because that was most definitely a bit of technology. I'm assuming that nature on this planet wasn't quite at Death World levels back when you first settled here, but then who am I to guess how the alien culture views the deadlier parts of nature? Okay, so apparently we need to use multiple bomb slots to activate the gates. The first one was easy enough, but it looks like getting to the other two is going to be more of a pain in the ass. Right, second one wasn't all that difficult either. The third is gonna need the most precise timing with the bombs, though. that didn't do it. Huh. That didn't take all that long at all. Still, feels like it was a bit more trouble than I probably should have bothered with, considering we were going after a missile expansion in a game where we don't even need to use missiles against bosses. But hey, it was satisfying in its own right to do, and it didn't take us all that long to accomplish. For some reason, I thought that distinctive-looking wall would be a hint of whatever's gonna show up in the next room. And there's the energy tank we saw several clips ago. As usual, that is more appreciated than the missile upgrade. Now, technically, I know we're supposed to go back to the elevator we left behind when we took that turn, but still, no harm in taking another look in this sector before we use the elevator. Who knows, we might find something important. Hell, maybe another energy tank. Yeah, definitely no way I'm getting to that missile expansion in that little spot with what we have right now. And apparently, what was once a mini-boss encounter has become a lot less distinctive. I guess they liked the idea of Samus essentially borrowing some tricks from matadors. I wonder how many other enemies in this game we will find that will only be weak to shots in the back. Huh. Apparently it seems to be random what health item spawns after killing an enemy. I thought it was based on how much health you had left. Granted, not especially important, but it still felt worth mentioning. Well, that plan to just walk along the edges didn't last too long. May as well get moving. At the very least, we're due to save soon. Didn't even need to bother dealing with the second swarm in that hallway. I know the small swarming enemies aren't supposed to be anything especially intimidating, but still, I keep expecting to see them just drain quite a chunk of health from us. But that just does not seem to be the case. Another of those striped sections of wall. I guess that means we're not going to be able to get to that upgrade for now. Guess it was too much to hope that removing the toxic water would somehow stop the exploding mushrooms from being a thing anymore. Really didn't take long for the water to stop being dangerous once that specific plant was destroyed, even if the corpse of that thing is still in the water. I know I keep saying it, but I wouldn't have even called attention to that if it wasn't for the fact that the game is trying to be more detailed with this new way of working with Samus. Hell, most bosses in the old days would leave absolutely nothing behind to show they existed in their given rooms at all once we killed them. Anyway, it looks like we've done more than enough for one day. Time to get to the nearest save point, and I think the same one we started this clip from. It's a good thing I labeled the bits of raw footage after I completed recording them. Otherwise, I might have gotten a bit confused, considering I occasionally use the save point in back-to-back sessions with this game.